Great. So let's get into the helping people aspect, because I think while in the past couple of years, there's been a greater acceptance of, online relationship building and, online assistance and things like that. I still think there's a little bit of a resistance to the idea that you can actually help somebody in a non-creepy way through a medium where you've never met them in real life. So just flat out, can you really help somebody through Twitter? Is help really something that you can provide to somebody through this medium?
Yeah, it is. And, while you're talking, it was just reminding me of one of the first ways that I used Twitter, and that was to actually do keyword searches back when I was first trying to get off the ground with the Career Coach blog, which was my very first blog. And I was writing resumes and helping people. And so there were certain keywords I was looking for related to resumes if people were frustrated or venting on Twitter. And then I would just reply and say, hey, let me know if I can help, and giving them a link to my resume page, which had different options. The very low cost option was just for me to review their actual resume. And so, if you want to get that specific, you can. I don't do that as much anymore because I've got different other revenue streams coming in, but it's a great way to get started by finding the people who are frustrated out there. So that would be a specific way. The other way is I love sharing quotes and sharing other people's content. And I love it when I get people to reply and say, boy, I needed to hear that today. I had one just reply and say, man, I need to hear that for this Labor Day weekend. And so that was just an encouragement to me that you can share information that can be helpful to people like that.
Absolutely. I've had those quotes come through, and it's just, you could probably see it 100 other times, but just that particular day that it comes through, it connects with you in a really deep and resonating way. That's great. So when you start helping people, like when you were going out there looking for those keyword terms, did you feel weird, talking to someone who you had never talked to before? I mean, you don't know where they're at. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know their home circumstance. You don't know what things are like in their life, for better, for worse, for weird, for normal. Isn't it kind of weird to do that? Or were you able to get past that pretty quickly? Should we feel weird about it?
When I first started doing it, I started thinking, how is this going to, how are people going to respond? I think it's in two things that you got to think about. One, it's the way that you do it. You do it from a place, even if with only 140 characters, you can do it in a way that comes across not pushy and that you're really trying to provide help. And that could be just, pointing someone to a blog post you've written, and you're not necessarily trying to sell them on anything other than, hey, I saw that you're struggling with your interview, so here's some tips for you that I wrote recently. So it's the way that you do it. The second thing is most people that are on Twitter get that when they put their saying out there, it's just not going to their friends like it is on Facebook. It's actually going out there for anybody to read. And I think most people that understand Twitter and are using it, they don't think it's weird to have people they don't know reply to them, because they understand fundamentally they're putting it out there for the world to see.
Yeah. When you first started, did you feel a little bit of self-consciousness, sending that first time when you first found someone, sending it to them? Did you feel self-conscious, or were you just at a place with everything else that you had done with your life that it wasn't an issue for you?
There may be a little bit of feeling of that, but honestly, I think for me I was convinced that I could help them. And
that's good.
If you can just understand, if you believe in the value that you can give to people, and that 100 or 200 hours they may spend, using this example, on a quick resume review or makeover, and I know that the resumes that I work on, because I spent 8 years as an executive recruiter, and we live and die by getting responses on resumes. So I know I can help people in that area. And so if you believe in that value that you have, you're a little bit less hesitant to put yourself out there.